Hello guys, welcome to another trade breakdown video. Today I'll be breaking down the trade that I've taken on Tuesday, as you can see, 8th of August 2024. This is one of the backtest videos that I've taken just recently, and I want to explain it to you guys why I have taken it and what I've learned from this trade. Because at the end of the day, why are we backtesting? To learn something new about the markets and about how they move, right? And what happens when it's in a demand zone, before rejecting a demand zone, what happens, and so on and so forth, right? So on the daily time frame, we can clearly see the price is now in a demand zone, which is valid due to this change of character right here, and it is not showing yet. Just by looking at this candle, it's not looking like it is a bullish candle, right? So my bias on GU was clearly bearish going on Tuesday, and on DXY my bias was clearly bullish because it's a doji. The daily bias is not clear, and whenever the daily bias is not clear, what I tend to do, I go with the weekly bias being bullish, right? The weekly bias was bullish, the daily bias was not clear, so buying made more sense. And also I used my own brain here, so GU was clearly bearish, so I used the weekly analysis thing on DXY to make it easier for me. So my bias being bearish, once you know your higher time frame bias, all the things you do is on the way to looking for sells, right? So on the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see this was the high that caused this lower low, lower highs, lower lows, break of structure. So this is the last break of structure, as you can see, lower highs, lower lows. The price went down, swept liquidity from this lower lows right here, and then gave us a bullish pin bar kind of candle, right? So this right here is clearly bullish, we can see. So the price action right here is clearly bearish, right? So, and also my higher time frame bias is bearish, so looking for sells made so much of sense for me. So that is why going on Tuesday I was looking for sells. And also one more thing, the most important thing I was looking for sells was there was a beautiful supply zone, meaning this was the lower high that caused this lower low. So Monday I was looking for sells from this sort of supply, which didn't happen, but on Monday it was a continuation model, I did got it. But on Tuesday there was a beautiful supply zone. This supply zone was valid due to this fair value gap, market structure shift, and also it was with the bias being bearish, so it made so much of sense. And also the Asian range, right? Just if we are gonna get a trade or a zone is valid, we can see just by looking at the price action, I can tell that that zone is valid. Why? Because of my experience, because of how many back tests I have done. I have literally done 500 plus back tests now, and just my eyes are being habituated to seeing the same move again and again, right? So this was the supply zone I was looking to trade from, and I waited for my time window, which is London session. I have also marked that if you guys want to see. So here my bias was bearish, so after seeing this, obviously I was looking for a continuation model because my bias was so clear. So but I didn't took the trade because of this huge momentum, because while the price was entering the supply zone, I need to see some sort of rejection on the lower time frame to then enter, right? But in this case there was no sort of lower time frames rejection, so that is when I entered the trade here after seeing this M15 engulfing. I have also journaled this trade. The reasons are written here. The reasons are clearly written here, but I can't show you because of my flashlight is not working, sorry guys. So this trade was literally taken because the higher time frame was bearish, H4 break of structure to the downside, H1 price action was bearish, Asian high liquidity got swept, M15 engulfing candle from the supply zone, DXY correlation, right? So everything we want to see in a trade was there, and also it was in my time window. But this trade was literally so late at our time window, meaning this trade was not a high probability trade. Just by looking at it, I should have known it, because we can clearly see this was not at our timing, just 15 minutes above 15 minutes before my timing. So it was very, very tricky. And also London session was literally to the upside, so it didn't make sense to go down again. Whenever the London session is so huge to the upside, yes, it can go to the downside, but at the main timing where the momentum is high, in that timing the London session was to the upside. So yeah, this was not a high probability trade, but obviously we took it, and we took a loss here. I journaled this trade as a loss, and this trade was genuinely a loss, not a problem. Then what I've also learned from this trade was I took a loss on London session, right? This was our time window, not a problem. But my bias is still clear. My bias is still bearish. My trade is still valid because of this supply zone is still valid, and we can use all of this position right here, as inducement. And after using this as inducement, we can see a move in New York session like we did exactly, right? This was the higher low, higher high, some sort of accumulation, manipulation and distribution to the downside. When the market gave us the distribution, we drew our Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, I entered at the equilibrium and made back my losses, as you can see right here. So London session's high were used as inducement. This is also a model of New York. Whenever London session doesn't give the move or is consolidating like it was in this case, New York session can give the move, right? So if you know that, if you have that information, you can use that in your advantage in the live markets. I have so much of information now that I can use in the live markets, which is gonna be so fun, and it's gonna make my trading it's gonna take my trading to the next level. I am not even joking. My knowledge right now is, I'm not even praising myself or something, but knowledge is very, very high. So now we have to use that knowledge. Without a plan is nothing, right? So we have to make a plan and we have to execute, and the rest will be history.